Generation Z has become increasingly disillusioned with status quo politics here in the United States and around the world, and perhaps not so shockingly, they absolutely despise the President of the United States. New polling is out that shows 76% of Generation Z disapproves of Donald Trump, making George W. Bush's numbers look like FDR. On top of all of that, most young Democrats now actually affiliate themselves more with the progressive wing of the party rather than the more centrist liberal position. And it just gets even better. Gen Z conservatives are also pissed off at Trump right now over his stupid war with Iran.
There's a lot of discontent among the young Republicans, amongst conservatives, when it comes to the issue of Iran.
So yeah, things are looking pretty shit for the GOP come November. But before we get too far into this, be sure you subscribe to US Democratic Socialists for more good news like this you don't want to miss. All right, so diving right in, the polling shows that not only is MAGA completely turbo fucked, but also that the younger generation broadly is dissatisfied with both the Democratic and Republican parties at large. Back in 2024, many Gen Z younger voters kind of forgot about Trump existing in 2016 because we were so young, and so they decided to vote for him in 2024, thinking of him as this outsider. But now the progressives are winning this culture war with more left-wing candidates jumping at this opportunity to make their message of actual grassroots organizing and anti-establishment messaging very crystal clear. Along with all of that, a lot of young folk are now turning away from traditional media and going more to online figures such as Hassan Piker, who has been in the news quite a lot recently for his more controversial takes, and love him or hate him, but it does show that Gen Z is looking for something new. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Going back to the polls that just came out, it shows that Trump is as popular with Gen Z as polio, with only a 24% approval rating. It is just diabolical numbers. This is a light the beacons, ring the bells, blow the war horns cry for the GOP, because they are going to get smacked in the midterms, right? As Gen Z, especially Gen Z men, were a very strong voting bloc for Donald Trump and the Republican Party back in 2024, that has all but vanished for them. It's completely gone, right? The MAGA movement has lost that voting demographic completely since Trump took office and began to, fuck everything up, whether that is Iran, deportations, Epstein, all of it.
I'm a Republican, but I disagree with this war because we should be taking care of our own, right?
I do land on the bad side. It's unnecessary. I think there are other methods that we can use, communication, negotiations, that will be more effective rather than just let's bomb everything you have, your country, your ships, and let's just end you.
We've seen Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan. Why would I trust the government to do it better this time just because it's a president that I like?
I do not want to die for a war that's like thousands of miles all the way over there.
Those were all Republican voters, by the way. So yeah, turbo fucked. Another major generational divide shown in the polling here is Israel and Palestine, where Generation Z is broadly sympathetic towards the Palestinians over Israelis.
One of them is partisan. Republicans, overwhelmingly on the Israeli side. Democrats, this is the big shift. Now, overwhelmingly 3-1 on the Palestinian side. And then the second piece of it, it's generational. It's age. Gen Z, that rising generation. Look at this. Across party there, 3/4 of Gen Z say they sympathize more with the Palestinians than the Israelis. That's a massive sea change.
Progressives resoundingly do not support Israel or its actions in Palestine or Gaza or Lebanon, and many elected Democrats are still not speaking up about it, even when it is an 80-20 issue within the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders has a few poignant words about this as well. Take a look.
I happen to believe that what is going on in Gaza right now is horrific, that we are seeing children right now as we speak starving to death, massive malnutrition. If you speak up on that issue, you'll have super PACs like AIPAC going after you in the same way Elon Musk goes after Republicans.
With all of this injustice and unrest and Trump in the White House craziness, there is still this momentum building with progressives. In fact, it is kind of the opportunity for the momentum with progressives. 2026 will be one of the best years for left-leaning politics in a generation. The momentum is there amongst the young base of Democratic voters, but that's not thanks to the Democratic Party, right? That isn't because the establishment is doing a good job. Democrats are polling like shit right now, but it's because of progressives pushing the Democrats to do what people want, actually giving them a message that is popular, and then so the Democratic Party has to align themselves with the more left flank version of the party than trying to push to the center, which clearly, looking back the past 10 years, hasn't worked. Trump is in the White House 2 times 2. times 2. So not only are the progressives pushing popular policy, but there also is a hatred for Donald Trump, right? That is a huge reason that people are voting for the Democrats, which I have said time and time again is not enough, right? Here is Chris Rabb, who is running for Congress in Pennsylvania, who just got an AOC endorsement talking about this exact issue, saying that, yeah, hating Trump is easy. The hard part is everything else.
Look, it's real easy pickings going after Orange Menace. That's fun. Right? He's so easy to pick at because he's so awful. That's the easy work. The hard work is holding your own party to account when some in your own party want the war or are complicit because they are silent or they vote the wrong way. Am I allowed to use the F word in here? Fetterman? No? Okay.
I love that Fetterman just gets a quick little, just a quick little one of these in there, right? Just a quick little nudge. Any excuse to dog on John Fetterman, I am there for 100%, right? Like progressives like Chris and Bernie and AOC are doing the work and fighting Donald Trump on the political level. But there is also this social and also media level to politics, right? This momentum in large part is also because of digital content creators such as Hassan Piker, the popular Twitch streamer and Fox News's favorite talking point right now. Like seriously, he's everywhere on that network. And Piker has been pursuing a progressive agenda, a lot of P's right there, for over a decade. And while many don't like the guy, he speaks to an emerging generation that is starving for language like this.
If you steal from the poor, you become rich. If you steal from the wealthy, you go to prison. So there's only one direction where you can do unlimited theft and erode the social contract for the 99%. There's an invisibility baked into the system that allows the wealthy to engage in this sort of behavior. Because I mean, it's a cliche at this point, but like wage theft is the most consequential amount of theft that takes place in the United States of America.
Piker and those like him are speaking to a group of people that feel increasingly isolated in their politics, right? And it's not all that radical. The politics that we're talking about here have been talked about by Bernie Sanders for decades, and here he is on Colbert talking about how this form of politics is increasingly so popular.
Why is socialism cool again, Bernie?
I think people are looking at this country today, and they're seeing incredible greed. And they're seeing that in the richest country in the history of the world, so few have so much and so many have so little.
Yeah, people see this wealth inequality and they're like, well, what the fuck? What about me? What is the government doing to protect me? And so to make sure that this doesn't happen. And this leads to anger and frustration and this very deep-seated rage that often can sometimes lead to, unfortunately, violence, and it's not okay, and it's unjustifiable when it happens, but there is no outlet. There is no one speaking to these frustrations that people feel, and the progressives now have this opportunity, right, amongst the Democratic Party to organize and to actually hear the anger of this people before it goes too far to violence, right, to actually understand the concerns of where these people are coming from. Not enough food on the table, not enough money in the bank account, health insurance premiums, housing, transportation costs, all of that, right? Or just, wanting to have a vacation every once in a while, or wanting to have, a sweet treat, right? Like, God forbid, I feel like I see these things of like conservatives, being like seeing EBT on cookies and being like, what the hell? Food stamps for cookies? And it's like, yeah, children deserve to have fucking cookies, right? So all of that is justifiable, right? To be pissed off that children can't have cookies or to not have a house, right? Like those are obviously different things, but both are justifiable reasons to be upset at the system, right? And so we have this progressive momentum in this country to fight against the billionaire class, the oil lobbyists, the people at the very top, pushing us more and more, taking more and more out of every single person's working paycheck, right? And so the progressive movement is growing in large part due to AOC, Ilhan Omar, Bernie Sanders, and Zoran Mamdani, right? The tide is changing. The tide is turning in a big way. Trump is sweating right now. 76% of Gen Z hates the guy. So great for that, three-fourths of a generation absolutely despises the leadership, right? Time is ticking for the conservative party in this moment, right? 2026 is going to be brutal for them, but the fight is just beginning, right? We cannot give up just yet, or even if there is a huge swing in 2026. Doesn't matter. The fight continues. Keep pushing on every single day. But I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to leave a like down below and also subscribe to US Democratic Socialists for more news like this. And also leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts about this and so much more down below. So do all that good stuff and have a great day. I'm Iago Lashua. Goodbye.